Hey guys, and we are the Bolden Gamers and Exceptionally Hot, and today we have with us the Note 20 Ultra. It's the UK edition, so we're going to pop this bad boy open. Whoa!
Jeez. It's me getting fired.
So yeah, this is the first. Liam's already had a bit of a play with the
Yes.
Note 20 and the Note 20 Ultra. I've yet to actually play with these, and this year's probably the most exciting one I've seen from Samsung.
Yeah.
More so for the tablets, less so the phones, but we decided to go with just the Ultra unboxing because
We both think the Ultra is just the one to go for.
absolutely.
There's no point of the Note, but we'll talk about that more later.
Yeah, we'll go into that. But first up, it's not even been.
Break my seal, Sean.
It's not even broken the seal yet, so.
Scissors.
Scissors.
Fine.
I don't have a fun.
You wield them like a maniac.
Here we go. Oh.
There we go.
Oh, there's a bit in the top. That's annoying. That bit in the top, which has got all the stuff in it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go out there on a limb and say that's not Apple design. Here we go, and just quick start guide as well.
It's a big box for these two small things.
Here we go. So you say that you don't like this colour.
No, I think it's a disgusting puke pink.
Puke pink.
Puke
Okay,
pink.
so let's pop it up. Ooh. Oh,
Yeah?
yeah. Here we go. So we have what Liam defines as puke pink, but actually, I really like that.
Ideal beetroot.
There we go. Have you got your iPhone 10 out just for
Yes.
comparison? Just
I'll
whilst
take
he
it out
grabs
of the
that.
case.
So other things in the box, you get a Samsung sleeve, wall plug, super fast charge.
Yeah.
It's really handy. Then obviously you get things like USB-C cable in there as well. So popping that aside.
There is my phone. Don't go on the search history.
Okay. So just as a comparison, iPhone 10 versus, we'll do some close-up shots of those as well so you can get a better idea of it. But yeah, that's a massive phone.
That's huge.
It's a massive phone. So it's, ooh, can we peel? Can we do some peeling?
Yeah,
Let's
peel it.
Peel it. Ready for it. Oh, I like that. That was enjoyable. Whereas I'm taking all the fun there. I'm doing all the peeling.
I peeled two yesterday.
You
so.
did. Okay, so you're right. That is
That
ridiculous. That camera bump is. I mean, it looks really fancy. It looks very, very nice. At a kind of first glance, it just looks like a proper camera, but it feels like it's in the way
it's
where
too
you'd
big.
normally put your finger or something like that. It's in the way. You definitely need to have this with a case on it.
But then
Absolutely.
if you imagine it with a case, that's not bad. We'll zoom in on the bump later. How big is that phone going to be with a case on to cover all of that? It's going to be a chunky monkey.
Yeah, okay, so that's definitely something worth bearing in mind. That is a very, very big camera bump. So one thing, obviously going back to that camera bump, is you get a lot of wobble there. It is not stable at all, and again it becomes that whole thing of you need a case of it, 'cause otherwise that's going to be rocking around all over the place, and it's just not ideal.
One of the things I preferred on the Note, and not the Note Ultra, was the camera bump was a lot smaller. Obviously the camera's not as good, but it doesn't like stick out obtusely like that.
Okay, so whilst we're waiting for that to boot up, it's a very impressive spec all around, and this is where we kind of come into that whole thing of if you're going to go for the Note series, you absolutely need to go for the Note 20 Ultra and avoid the Note 20 at all costs. If you're going to go for that sort of spec, then you absolutely may as well be in the market for something like the Galaxy S20 Ultra. It's crazy things like it doesn't have expandable memory on the standard Note 20. The screen is nowhere near as nice in terms of pixel density, but also 60Hz refresh rate versus the 120Hz. The camera isn't as good on something like the standard Note 20 either. You don't get a lot of the fancy quirks. The S Pen as well isn't as good on the standard Note 20, which is really disappointing. They've got the latency down from the previous generations, but it's 26 milliseconds.
Yeah, 26.
Whereas on this it's 9 milliseconds, so you'll definitely see it when you start using the device. I mean, that is a glorious screen. Absolutely.
And what I prefer about this to the Note 20 as well is this is more square. The Note is more circular, like the S series. So this stands out as a different phone, whereas the Note could just be a new S20 Ultra.
Fair enough. And I was concerned about the curvature on the screen as well. So on previous generations of Galaxy devices, whenever I've used them anyway, I always find that you sort of like the edge of your palm and your thumb starts pressing on things, and it gets really
You press
annoying.
buttons very easily.
And obviously on the standard Note 20 it's a flat screen, whereas this has the slight curve to the edge. So actually,
I like the curve. I think on this the curve works well.
that's what I mean, it's not too bad. So they've moved the S Pen over from that side over to here, so from the right hand side to the left. Doesn't really make a massive difference, just something worth bearing in mind if you're OCD or anything like that. And as always, it's very satisfactory
It's
when
nice.
that clicks out. And it's a fidgeter pen, because you can still do the clicking.
Still do the clicking.
I do like that. So I'm just going to have a quick play, because obviously Liam's had to play with these already, and I create note and just see. I'm used to the iPad Pro, which has the Apple Pencil is just absolutely amazing. So if this comes anywhere close to that, I'll be pretty impressed. Oh, I see what you mean.
See, I think the noise when you put the pen on, it just feels like a delay,
Absolutely.
and it really puts me off. It's not going to affect you if you turn the volume down, but for me, I just couldn't write with that the whole time.
Yeah, latency feels really good.
Yeah,
It's responsive, the pressure's actually really impressive. But I see what you mean. The thing for me there is, as you kind of press to start writing, that sound does feel just out of sync, which is annoying. Granted, you can turn that off in the settings. You've obviously got things like the S gestures as well, haven't you? So, oh, there we go. So kind of swiping up to go home and kind of swipe across to go back.
yeah. If you want to be Harry Potter,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is your entry level.
Wingardium Leviosa. I suppose the thing that I've always liked about that is, if you are somebody who's going to use this sort of device as your all-in-one or your work device, you have presentations or anything like that on there, you can have it plugged in via the USB-C to something like an external monitor, and you can be using that to control your presentation or just control things that are happening on your phone. I couldn't see myself ever using that just
Not in our business,
general.
though.
Well, not that. I couldn't see myself just, sat on the bus, for example, and like, oh, just go home and...
Oh no, never on a bus. But the way I see this would be good is someone like a kitchen designer, house designers can take a picture of a room and then annotate on that picture like measurements and everything using the pen. That's literally the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I had the Note 8 and I really enjoyed just writing down notes on it every so often and things that you had to. So it is handy to go. I've always really enjoyed it. It just felt that previous generations of things like the S Pen just weren't up to scratch. That, apart from the sound that's on there at the moment, I could definitely get used to. That feels like a nice writing experience. Okay, let's have a look at... Oh, that's a beautiful shot.
How much sweat is on that
There's
picture?
going to be a lot of sweat, actually.
Oh, that's not. I mean, I look haggard.
Oh yeah, you can see the shine there. So
Oh wow, that's
a lot.
actually. Look at how little eyebrows I have.
we don't need a good camera to show us that. It's a really good camera, and
What is good, which we played around with, which will be difficult in this room, so we'll have to film it later, is when you zoom in on the camera, it shows you where the zoom is happening. So it has the full picture in the corner and shows you the zoom. So we'll give a demonstration later because it's easier to see, but I think it's actually a really good thing.
oh, okay, I think I'm breaking things. So things to consider when you're looking at something like this is there's been obviously, apart from the kind of redesign and just kind of making it very premium and having that massive bump on there, there's a lot of things that are happening under the hood. So we're up, I think it was 8 gig of RAM on the previous models beforehand. We're up to 12 gig of RAM on this now, which is crazy, absolutely crazy when you think about it in terms of phone. Probably the standout feature, in my opinion, is that they finally bumped that screen refresh forward. So we're now at a 120 Hertz display. And for anybody who's not too sure what that means, it basically is how fast the display is refreshing. So it's buttery smooth when you use it. And that helps massively for things like the S Pen, and when you're drawing or anything like that, it's really nice. And it's the animation, and it's hard to show because obviously the camera that we're using at the moment isn't shooting in 120 Hertz. So you're not going to see it, and you're probably not watching this on a display that refreshes that fast, but it is just buttery smooth. The way things go on this, there's just no delay, there's no lag or anything like that, and it's just beautiful to look at. The only sort of downside with it is I believe that the 120 hertz can only be done in the lower resolution.
Yes.
And then you have to change it back to I think it's 60 hertz.
But then when I played around with the Note and the Note Ultra, there is a world of difference between this on 120 hertz and the Note on 60 hertz. I didn't think I would be able to see the difference, but you really do. It is worth having it on 120 hertz.
Yeah, definitely. And for anybody else who's kind of considering this or on and off about it, less so for just the normal kind of shopper, but the difference between the American and our versions, or our version and the rest of the world, is we get Samsung's Exynos processor in this. I think it's how you pronounce it, Exynos. It might be, it might not be.
Wrong person to ask.
Yeah, the rest of the world gets the Snapdragon, and the Snapdragon is considerably faster than the Exynos, which is, again, disappointing. This has the same processor that things like the S20 has in it, which, again, isn't a bad processor, but compared to what other people in the rest of the world are going to get, we kind of get a raw deal, and it just seems to be a bit of a Samsung thing, which is weird.
Why is that?
I don't know. There's probably an official answer out there somewhere, but I assume it's to do with licensing, and most likely, I guess because we're a smaller market, dipping their toes in an Apple-esque approach of not having all of their chips in one basket, so to speak. Yeah, so look and feel of the phone, I think I guess the colour is going to be an acquired taste for some people. Some people will love it, some people are not going to love it so much, but it feels premium.
Yeah, it feels like a good phone, like high quality metal. I like the weight of it. It is heavy. It's quite a bit heavier than the Note. But I personally like that, because you're not going to be using this with one hand mainly, are you?
No. Yeah, it looks good. It feels responsive. This screen is absolutely stunning, and again, it's something that's really hard to show off on camera, but that screen looks fantastic. The refresh rate, I really hope that Apple buck the trend this year and actually do it, but all rumours seem to be very much against that, so I guess we won't see it. But I like the faster refresh rate. It's just beautiful to see. The thing I'm noticing already, though, this is getting really hot.
So,
and it's hot in here.
What is the temperature today? Let's check the temperature today, because it's 29 degrees.
Okay.
We're two hot men in a small room.
It's true.
And I can imagine Sean's hands are like frying pans right now, so...
That's very true, actually.
Let me have a feel.
So, yeah. Another thing to talk about is this supports DeX wirelessly. It's something we talked about in our previous video with the Tab S7. And DeX, I love DeX, and I think it's such a good feature. With the horsepower that's inside of this, things like the 12 gig of RAM, DeX will just run so smoothly.
That's really good, especially how you can edit documents with the pen. So you can get a PDF, you can edit on top, you can just note take. So some things are really good on it. I think it's the perfect phone for someone who's ifing and ahhing about a tablet and a phone, because it is that big. Like, it's a 6.9 inch screen.
Yep.
How big is the iPad Mini? 7.9?
Yes.
And then the actual size difference is massive, so...
And it's great for anyone who's doing any sort of form of media consumption. That is, it's perfect aspect ratio, it looks good, you're going to get that widescreen display, but it's not overly narrow, which is, I guess, another trend that you start seeing, especially in things like the standard Galaxy ranges. They tend to be very tall. It's a really nice display in terms of its width. It's not too narrow or anything like that. And the display just looks absolutely stunning. I really like it. Like I said, the look and feel of it, it's very, very nice. And we'll kind of test out a few more features. And eventually we'll have a full review up as well once we've had some more time to play with them and see what they're actually like. But I think, in summary, absolutely, you would want to go for the Ultra. If you're going to be going for something like the Note 20s, you want to be going for the Ultra. Don't skimp and go for the standard Note 20. If you're going to do that, go for the Galaxy Ultra. It's just makes so much more sense to be doing that. There are so many additional benefits that you get from going for the larger model, but it's just all around a much, much better phone.
I want to do one final test.
Oh no.
It's the pocket test.
Oh.
No, that's alright, but it's still sticking out a little bit.
Yeah, that's so you can easily grab.
Oh,
your S Pen. I don't know, if you're under attack or something, you need to fend somebody off with it. That's all I've got. And then we were going to try and get some things installed, but again, we'll do that in our full breakdown review. But See, Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass is going to be coming to this, so you can grab yourself something like the Xbox controller. And I think, is it just the tablets that if you pre-order you get the Xbox controller?
No, I think you get it with the phones.
Perfect. So you can get something like that, and then we'll link this in the comments. But it's like a game grip, so you can then hook it up, use your Bluetooth. For things like Xbox Game Pass, that's going to be absolutely awesome. The screen is stunning, so seeing that is going to be pretty damn impressive. So yeah, all in all, I'm really impressed with that. I like the colour. No, you don't.
No.
But really like the colour, look and feel of it. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous display. That camera is looking very, very impressive. So can't wait to have a bit more of a play with that. And overall, yeah,
It's a good phone.
I'm a fan of it.
Yeah.
Definitely a fan. I don't like the trend that phone manufacturers have gone forward, where you need a case to kind of hide things like the camera bumps and I guess the harsh corners on that.
See, I like that because, like I said, compared to the Note 20, it's curved, but it is just an S20. Like,
fair enough. I guess it makes it stand out a bit. But I'm going to get bruised palms. So as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be doing a full review of this at some point in the near future as well, as we get closer to the launch date. We'll also try and do a few benchmarks. So we'll get things like Fortnite downloaded on there. Not that either of us are good at it or play it, but it's definitely one of those popular mobile games. So we'll get some of the popular mobile games. If there's anything you want us to test out, let us know in the comments below. We'll do our best to kind of figure out how well it performs. We'll get some shots of this as well, so we'll do some close-up shots throughout, and you'll be able to find more on our website regards camera samples and stuff like that. So
yeah.
perfect. Tune in next time, and we'll see you soon.
Au revoir.
Ta-ra.